Welcome back to the channel and welcome to this episode of Mark's Garage, where today we're going to talk about garage lighting. Now hold on, I know that may not sound exciting, but I promise you I'm going to talk about some solutions that you can do in your own garage using LED disc lighting that will make a huge difference in how much time you spend there, how much happier you're going to be working on projects. So let's get to it. Also, you're going to want to stay till the end of the video because I've got some extra information, some bonus information regarding some portable LED lighting that I use around the garage. You're going to find it really interesting, so stay tuned. All right, we are here with Brandon from Lumen Electric, and Brandon was kind enough to come over to talk a little bit about the garage lighting, and this really turned out great. Thanks for coming over, by the way.
For sure, yeah.
And we went with this LED disc light.
Yep.
And I thought it'd be neat for you to talk a little bit about this product.
Sure.
How it goes up, and so
yeah,
go ahead.
So this is it's a light that we've just actually recently started working with. There's all sorts of different types of these, but it's made by Satco. It's a 10-inch LED disc light. They're pretty common in the electrical industry, except we went when we initially met with Mark. He wanted this, obviously, his garage to be really well lit. So we kind of were playing around with these at the time. I said, you know, maybe we try these, and we threw them up, and they did a really nice job, and we've used them on a couple other jobs. The difference between this one and the one Mark has now is it's kind of nice that they make them color selectable now. So what that means is in the LED world, there's different color temperatures, which essentially will tell you the whiteness or yellowness of the LED. Standard.
That's the Kelvin scale.
Correct.
Right?
Yep. So pretty standard stuff. 2700K is Kelvin is a more yellow light. And then as you go up in that Kelvin scale, it gets whiter. So I think yours are about 4,000 degree Kelvin. They just made it a little bit easier for us to not have to stock so many other things, and they have it all built in one. So
that's great. There's two parts to these lights, right?
Yep.
There's the part that attaches to, and we should talk a little bit about that. So in the ceiling, junction boxes. What kind of boxes work with these lights?
So just a standard everyday, you could use something like that, or a standard everyday round 4-inch plastic nail-on box. That's what we have up here. So I mean, and you know, almost every house has a pretty much a standard nowadays. It wasn't always like that in the olden days where they didn't have boxes and stuff. But you know, just a standard round box. So if you would have like a bare ball porcelain in your garage, which is pretty common, and you wanted to swap that out for this, it's a pretty easy swap, especially because these have leads on the ends of them, and you just wire nut them onto the wires and call it good, and then it just screws up with two screws. Yeah. So it's
nice.
Yeah. So it's a really easy like retrofit option. I've seen these in houses. You know, people have started to put them in their houses. In their showers, over bathtubs, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So these are definitely becoming really popular. A lot of the ones that are in the houses are a little bit smaller, but like I said, we wanted to get a little bit brighter here. This one in particular is 17 watts. So that's a pretty good output for an LED. It's what does it say on there? It's 1100 to 1200 lumens. There's a range on that essentially, just because as you go lower in the Kelvin scale, you don't get as much of an output, lumen output. But I mean, 1100 to 1200 is a pretty good output for a light. So.
Here's a couple other things that were really impressive to me as Brandon was talking to me about this product. And first of all, dimmable.
Yeah.
If you want to dim it, you can do that.
Yep.
I keep it generally, full power because I like it bright in here.
Right.
And then the other thing is just the life of this, 50,000 hours.
Yep.
Think about that, right? If you're in your garage every day for 3 hours, That's going to outlive me.
Yeah, it's
by
a long time.
It's a long time.
Yeah. It's a long time. So we just thought it was a nice alternative to, a lot of times when people want their garage is really well lit, we've done like 8-foot LED strips. Those can get a little bit more expensive. The labor is a little bit higher on installing those, and this is just, it was easy, right?
Very
you have
easy.
what, 20 some of them in here, and it.
Well, and compare it to what I was used to, which were can lights.
Yep.
So with a can light, you've got that whole fixture, you got that cost. Dollar-wise, this is just a better way to go.
Right. Yep. And with a recessed light, they it casts more of like a down light versus these. It kind of lights in a 360 degree path because on recessed lights the lighting is more regressed into the fixture, where this is more on the surface.
Yeah.
So you get more of like a better all around light versus just a flood on the floor. So.
The other thing that we did with disc lights is we put a few in closets.
Yep, and that's
inside.
That's a nice part too. They're wet located, so you can use them in showers or bathrooms outside. In their closet, they're rated for closets too. So it's kind of a nice all-in-one fixture. And like I said, they're pretty reasonable in cost.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they do a nice job.
All right, let's switch over to this gimbal little LED
Sure.
light. Let's talk a little bit about that. We used some of these also in the house project. We used them in the dinette around the perimeter of the room, which turned out nice. And we also used them recently in the lower bar in the basement just to do some accent lighting. And
Yeah.
how do these work, and what's involved with this?
So this is a product that we've been using, for the last, couple years. It's made by GM. That's a lot of like the LED tape light that we use, and these are made from GM. They have a really good product. This is just a small 3-inch, again, pretty reasonable in cost, recessed light. We use them a lot for accents, or like in Mark's situation, he over like a bar top essentially, or like a countertop. They're
Right.
nice for getting light on that countertop where it's not such a big obtrusive light. Where they're accent, they're more of an accent light. They're also gimbal, so you can directionally move them for highlighting artwork or memorabilia, stuff like that. So these have been really good for us. They work, or they did pretty well. We're actually doing a bathroom remodel at our shop right now. We put these in, so
Nice.
so a 38 degree flood. So that's about standard for like just a typical flood. It's not a narrow, it's not a wide. Narrow flood being like a 10 to 15 degree flood.
Yeah.
And a wide flood, which is going to give you obviously a wider beam angle, is like a 60 degree flood. So these are right in the middle.
Well, we like them. They work out great. We can certainly recommend that as well for a lighting project. All right, let's talk a little bit about Lutke Electric and where you guys are located.
Sure.
A little bit about the business, and then tell the folks, if you could, Brandon, how to get in touch with you.
Yeah, for sure. So Lutke Electric, we're located in Oostburg, Wisconsin. We've been around now, 64 years. So the company started with my grandpa. He worked at a local electrician shop in Oostburg, branched out on his own, and he kind of, there's all sorts of stories that back when, things were tough and he had to cut a van in half and weld it together just to have a work van. So he started in 1960, kind of starting with the residential kind of stuff. And then my dad, Todd, took over for him in 1994-ish. He ran the company for, probably about 23, 24, 25 years. He kind of got tired of the office scene and wanted to go back out and do the
work in the field,
on-site stuff. So he was actually here on the excavator digging away for you for your pillar lights.
Right.
So he likes more of that kind of stuff. So we kind of had a transition where he had me come into the office and do the daily management stuff. I also have a younger brother that, so me, my dad, and my brother are all partners in the business. So we're going on the third generation now. So hopefully, I know they always say the third generation is the most likely to fail, but we're going to try to buck that pretty hard. So
I don't see that happening for sure. You guys are great,
Yeah.
and I can certainly give a high recommendation to
Appreciate
Lumen
that.
Electric.
Yeah.
How they work and what they do. So
Yep.
good job on that. And I'll put your web address
Yep.
up on the screen for everybody. And
Yep.
what's the phone number?
920-564-2022. We don't really have full-time office help, so it's mainly me that answers, so you'll get directly to me.
Good.
On our website, my email is the one that gets there, and I'll try to answer those as fast as I can. So lidkeyelectric.com, we have some previous projects that we've done on there, some pictures and stuff like that, along with our crew of guys that we have. We have 11 in the field electricians right now, so, and then 2 part-time office ladies and a shop manager. So we just recently hired him, and that's been a big help. So and then me, my dad, and my brother. So we've been cranking away, and it's tough sometimes, but any job is like that, but it's rewarding. So
well, great job.
Absolutely.
Great job, and
Appreciate
thank you for coming over today.
Yeah.
Really appreciate all
Absolutely.
your work.
Appreciate your business.
And a few minutes today.
Absolutely.
And, this was fun, and I can tell you that having a garage that's lit like this makes it a lot more enjoyable. I've spent a lot more time in this garage than any other garage, and so check out those disc lights and have fun with your project. All right, here is some bonus information on garage work lights. This is a portable light, obviously, a little pen light. And it's you can buy these 215 to 300 lumens. They have a nice range of up to 55 feet. They run on some AA batteries. This one takes 3 of them. I'll turn this on, not right at the camera, but there's 2 light levels, a high and a lower. It's got a wide beam, but what I really like about it is the magnetic base. So you can stick this where it's going to work out to hold it in place for you. You can even stand it right on the ground or workbench. So with the pen light and the magnetic base, I like to store it right under one of my cabinets. So basically I can come under here, store it right there, all set to go. So if I'm working on one of my machines like this Can-Am Spider and I need to get underneath and maybe I'm changing the oil, I can come over here with this pen light, basically attach it right there, turn it on, voila. Okay, when I'm doing maintenance on my motorcycles, I often use this motorcycle lift. And what the neat thing is here about the pen light is I roll the bike up here, and if I need some extra light, right there you go. Move it around, put it where you need it. All right, a second portable garage light is this one right here. This is about 750 lumens. This is a rechargeable LED. It's got some neat features to it. First of all, I use this all the time. It's got a little kickstand. You can set this on the ground, move it around wherever you want. Another neat feature, if you want to set it up on a stand, it's actually got a little, we'll call it a tripod mount right there. So that's neat. The other thing on the back is it's got a USB port right there, and you can actually charge up a phone or a camera, that kind of a thing. So this is really handy to have. Move it around, keep it on the floor. Again, when you're on the ground doing oil changes or things underneath, this really works out well. And I am going to put links to both of these in the description so you know where to buy them. They're very reasonably priced too.